From the moment they open, our eyes connect us to the expression of joy above a child's laugh, the devotion in the gaze of someone who loves, the serenity in a sunrise over an ocean. Every milestone, every emotion, every memory is colored through the gift of sight. To us, eyes are the windows to experience. For eyes don't just help us see out, they help us look in, revealing insights to overall health and well-being. And we believe that eye health professionals do more than correct vision. They harness the power of science and innovation to unlock human potential, caring for and protecting the way we connect in every single moment throughout life's journey. Because when we connect with sight, we connect with life.
Hello, welcome to another session of Focus Point Facebook Live. With us today, I'm Daniel. I'm an optometrist by profession with Focus Point Vision Care Group. So with us today is Lindsay. She's an optometrist and professional education manager from Johnson & Johnson Vision Care Malaysia. Alright, just for your knowledge, Johnson & Johnson Vision is a company behind the #1 selling brand of contact lenses worldwide, which is the ACUVUE contact lenses. The company is actually devoted to helping people see better, live better, and connect better. So a little bit of sharing about Lindsay's biography. So Lindsay brings with her more than 10 years of established clinical knowledge as well as experience. Prior to joining Johnson & Johnson, she was a lecturer in the field of optometry at UCSI, UST. And currently, she is also holding executive committee within the Association of Malaysian Optometrists. So welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you, Daniel, and Focus Point for your kind invitation. And it's such a pleasure to be here with yourself and as well with Focus Point, right? And yes, back to you.
Yes. So let's not waste any time. So let's go on to our main topic of the day. So basically, Lindsay, our topic today, we are discussing on ultraviolet rays and the eyes. So we all know that how ultraviolet can affect and also damage our skin. But what about our eyes? Can our eyes get burnt from the sun too? So that's the question.
Okay, before I answer the question, just a little bit of a background. Well, we've been taught from a very young age the impact of sunlight, in other words, our ultraviolet light on the skin, right?
Yes.
So we had always had education or health education where the impact of excessive UV exposure can affect on the skin. And usually for us being so, in terms of UV protection, we always actually end up focusing on the skin, and a little bit has been emphasized, very little has been emphasized for the eye. So there's actually, when we look at the effects, right, there's actually short-term effect and there is longer-term effect as well. When it comes to short-term effect, that could include skin damage, such as suntan. And as we know, there's nothing actually healthy about a suntan or even a sunburn, right? And when it comes to longer-term damage, right, it could even go as extensive as maybe pigmentation or even wrinkles. I guess, none of us want wrinkles, right? We wouldn't definitely want it. And of course, the worst case scenario, right, when you think about it, is actually skin cancer, right? But we're not saying that all UV exposure will cause skin cancer, but it's just that we're talking about the worst case scenarios, right? And I think back in school, I would always say that, we've always been taught to don't go under the sun too much, use sunscreen protectors, wear a protective shirt, have some good quality sunglasses and shades from the sun wherever it's possible, right? So that's how it goes. But when we look back a little bit on the part of sliding some quality sunglasses, that already tells us from even at school time, they are indirectly highlighting the importance of having protection of UV against the eyes, or for the eyes, I would say, right? So back to answering your first question, the answer is yes. right, the eyes can actually get sunburned. This is actually a condition called photokeratitis, where it's a painful eye condition where when exposed excessive UV, it causes like a sunburn to the eye. So not only your skin gets sunburned, the eyes too as well.
Okay.
Right? So the damages usually go unnoticed until sometimes signs and symptoms occur in patients or individuals. And it's not limited to, but these signs and symptoms could be, example, eye pain, redness, blurring of vision, even foreign body sensation, which sometimes it could even lead to tearing and sensitivity to bright light. So a lot of us think that, okay, when we go, it's because of just sunlight, you get it. But the thing is, because sometimes the effect of the excessive exposure could lead to sensitivity of bright light. So this, and the symptoms or the signs that we mentioned earlier, it all depends on the relativeness of the exposure to UV. Okay, so there is no right and wrong hard rule that how many percent, but everything has to be done moderately, right?
Okay, yes.
And when you look at photokeratitis, as what we said, in other words, sunburn, right, to the eye, sometimes we always think that we are not looking directly at the sun, so I won't get it, right?
Yes.
But it's actually in the environment when you go, especially outdoor, because the sunlight reflects on surfaces. Surfaces such as sand, water, ice, but I think snow is a bit less in our part of the world here. But even looking at solar eclipse directly, you know, so the reflection from that surface is actually enters the eye, and that's where you get still UV penetrating into the eye, right? And in Malaysia, you know, we are having high UV levels because we're very close to the equator. And all year round, we don't have seasons here, right?
Yes, yes.
So making sure that we are wearing the right UV protection for our skin, not forgetting our eyes when we go outdoors.
Wow. So what should someone do when they suspect they might have a sunburn in their eyes?
It's good that you brought that up because a lot of us sometimes we experience symptoms or signs or even we suspect of conditions, but we don't know what to do next, right? My first recommendation or my thoughts would be you have to see a qualified eye care practitioners. For example, Focus Point has optometrists in their branches to make sure they give you a right diagnosis and treatment. When the symptoms that I mentioned earlier, right, such as redness, you know, gritty feeling, foreign body sensation, because it can also relate to other eye conditions. So that is the reason more why you should actually get diagnosis from a qualified ECP or an eye care professional, which is essential. Okay, so in terms of treatment, right, people are thinking, so what happens, right, when I have photokeratitis or sunburn? This could potentially involve a combination of palliative reliefs, quite common, lubricating eye drops, and in some instances maybe antibiotics if it's needed. But in terms of palliative relief, what we mean by palliative relief is to make sure that they feel comfortable from the symptoms that they're experiencing, like the pain, the foreign body sensation, which can include cold compresses and even painkillers, you know, sometimes in certain extents, but you know, it is all quite subjective depending on the eye examination, see?
Yes.
So, and you know, can't just stress enough, moderation is the key with proper, adequate protection for your skin and your eyes.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned, prevention is always better than cure. Though, when you're going outdoors, make sure you have adequate UV protection for your eyes.
Yeah. So please listen to what Lindsay has mentioned. Prevention is always better than cure. Alright, so let's move on to our first quiz of the day. So I'm sure a lot of viewers are very interested in this time of the Facebook live session. So we will choose one winner for each quiz question for today. Alright, so once we selected the winner will have to make an appointment with our Focus Point branch to have a complete eye examination. Basically, that means not only just a prescription check, but eye health check as well. Alright, so before actually redeeming the free gift. So this free gift is courtesy of ACUVUE J&J, so which is the ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. So the winner will win 2 boxes of ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. Basically, these 2 boxes will last you 6 months. Yeah. So, okay, so let's not waste any time. We will post out the question. So please listen carefully. So can you let us know what UV actually stands for? The word UV. I've already mentioned this at the very start of the session today. So can you, any one of you, please state what UV stands for? So please put the answer into the comment box as quickly as possible. Our customer service will choose a winner in a short while. Okay, while we are waiting for the winners to be selected, we will go back to where we left off, Lindsay.
Sure.
So, what about the benefits of ultraviolet rays though? We hear about the importance of vitamin D, but is this what it's really made up to be, or is it more like vitamin D for damage?
That's really an interesting, thoughts actually. But I would say that basically UV majority in this part of the world comes from the sunlight, right? Well, sunlight has its role in supporting vitamin D production in the body. Okay, so what is the purpose of vitamin D? Is actually to keep bones, teeth, and muscles healthy, right? So in individuals who have low levels of vitamin D, it could potentially lead, we're not saying that it will cause, right, or even worsen, example, osteoporosis condition. And this could affect men and even women. So it's not gender biased though, it could be either way. So all of us need, protection as well. And also vitamin D. Though we know it's really clear, there's actually benefits of sunlight on our physical health, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that we have a free right to spend as much as time out in the sun. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So moderation is the key. The reason why is there is also a damaging side of UV. Okay, so where different types of UV can actually lead to different changes in the skin and also eyes, right? So there is about 3 types of UV that we're going to talk about today, UV light. First would be UVA, then we have UVB, and we have UVC, right? So what does UVA do? UVA actually penetrates deeply into the skin actually, yeah? So where it can contribute to skin and connective tissue damage, alright? So there are sources that their sites so. But moving further, right, UVB is the type that helps produce vitamin D in the skin, but it also causes sunburn and damages our skin DNA. So either way, we're not saying that you should do too much of everything, but there is a moderation, which is the key, with proper protection. But there are also sources that cite that UVA and UVB are thought to be linked to the development of skin cancers. Alright. Finally, if you're going to touch a little bit on UVC, okay, what is UVC is it's actually the most harmful UV ray that exists in terms of harming our eyes and our skin, right? But luckily, most of it is actually blocked by Mother Nature. So what I mean by Mother Nature is, we have our Earth's ozone layer, right? So UVC cannot penetrate through the ozone layer to reach us here, right? At least most of it. So what actually comes through the sun or the sky, I would say, is actually UVA and UVB. And that's why we actually emphasize a lot on UVA and UVB protection, right?
Okay, so UVA and UVB can actually penetrate through the ozone layer.
That's right.
Only the one that doesn't penetrate through the UV ozone layer is UVC.
Exactly.
Okay, now we have come to the first winner of the day. So his name is Kevis Lee. So Kevis, if you're hearing this, you have been selected to win our first quiz. So please contact our customer service, which is you can see in the comment box. Okay. So make sure you visit our focus point practices to ensure that you get a complete eye examination before you redeem the free ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. Okay. All right. So let's get back to where we left off just now, Lindsay.
Sure.
Yes, I think some of the viewers may not know that there are differences of ultraviolet rays. There are many, up to 3 different types of ultraviolet rays. So can you please help elaborate how it can impact their eyes? Then.
That's a real good question, actually. As I said, we tend to overlook in terms of protection for our eyes when it comes to UV, and it all has been centered around our skin. So most people don't realize that UV can impact the eyes too. The way that UV damage can actually manifest in the eyes are actually, there's a variety of it. Okay, for example, right, excessive UV exposure can lead to spot-like growths on the white part of the eye called pinkiquella. So it looks like a yellow bump on the white part of the eye. I believe as optoms we know, right?
Usually on the nasal part.
Exactly, right? And generally it is harmless, but sometimes it just gets a bit red and irritating as well, you know. There's some irritation that's been caused.
Yeah.
Of course, among the other conditions that could be associated with UV would be cataract or even macular degeneration. So this sort of condition actually can potentially affect our vision, right? So for example, macular degeneration can lead to a loss of central vision, right? If it's not been detected and managed earlier. So, and let me touch a little bit on cataract as well, actually. We do know that cataract is an aging process, right? So we're not saying that UV causes cataract. If you're exposed to UV, you will get cataract. But sometimes it does play a contributing factor, okay, in order to perhaps speed up the formation of cataract. You know, as we know nowadays, people at the younger ages are also getting cataract at the earlier age compared to those times before, like decades before. Right? And so I would definitely advise the audience, right? You don't want to take your chances when it comes to UV exposure.
So don't treat it lightly, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, we are coming to the second question. So since we are talking about taking chances, it's time for our viewers to have a chance at winning 2 boxes of ACUVUE Vita contact lenses that you can see on our coffee table in front of me. Okay, so basically for the winner, we will select one winner. So once we selected, you will have to make an appointment to get a complete eye examination in our focus point participating outlets, okay, to not only get a prescription check, but as well as a eye health check as well, to see whether you are healthy to wear contact lenses first, okay? So yeah, so listen up for the question. It's very easy if you listen properly earlier on. How many types of ultraviolet rays can actually penetrate through the ozone layer? Okay, so I just repeat again. How many types of ultraviolet rays can actually penetrate through the ozone layer? So again, I just give you a hint. There are 2 types. Remember the 2 types. Just write it down onto the comment box below. So we will inform you on the winner in a short while. Okay. So yeah, while we're talking about the UV light, we have a question. Which UV light is most dangerous to us? Maybe Lindsay would like to answer this since we are talking about UV light.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense actually. So in terms of UV, right, we mentioned that there's 3 types of UV, UVA, UVB, and UVC. And UVC is actually blocked by the ozone layer. So in other words, it doesn't really come down to us here. So we have only left with UVA and UVB. So that is the 2 UV or ultraviolet light that you have to look out to in order to protect your eyes and of course your body, which is your skin as well.
Okay.
I hope that answers that.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be satisfied with the answer. But anyway, we will go on answering a lot of questions later on. So please do tag, like, and share our Facebook Live with your friends and family members. Okay. So let's move on, Lindsay. So if people are concerned if they might get sunburn to their eyes or ultraviolet radiation damage, how can they find this out?
You know, that's really a brilliant question. The reason why is a lot of us experiences a lot of signs and symptoms, but we don't know what we're going to do about it. Sometimes we presume that it could be this and that, not knowing, and maybe we may take drastic actions. So what I would really suggest is in acute cases, especially when it comes to sunburn on the eye or even photokeratitis, like please go see a optometrist straight away for a diagnosis. Because the symptoms that I mentioned, like redness, tearing, photophobia, even sensitivity to light, or even foreign body sensation, sometimes you have like a sandy feeling, right? So those symptoms could also needs to be really seen under a specialized instrument, right, by the optometrist to make sure that a proper diagnosis is obtained, right? So what they will do, so when you go walk into any example focus point branches, right, where the optometrist performs the eye examination,
Yes.
they will actually do a detailed history and symptoms check, right? Then they will actually assess the condition on the surface of your eye with a specialized equipment called the slit lamp, right? Before providing proper diagnosis and treatment plan. So this is something that's actually really important because, as I said, the symptoms sometimes could be mistaken for other eye conditions if you don't have a proper diagnosis. So, but besides that, right, when you actually do this eye examination on a specialized instrument or equipment, you can also screen for other eye conditions related to eye health, such as cataract, even macular degeneration. So my suggestion is making sure having a regular eye exam with an optometrist, right, as you go around to your nearest, practice in focus point to make sure you get your eyes checked, right? There's a little bit more that I would like to touch on this, where professional associations actually recommend an eye examination every 1 to 2 years. This is to assess not just the eye power, but also the eye health. So a lot of us think, right, when we go into the store, and sometimes they have free eye tests, and it takes like perhaps a minute or maybe 30 seconds to get your eye power. That is not really a proper eye examination. A proper eye examination is where they actually not just check your eye power, but they also check your eye health, which is using a specialized instrument called a slit lamp, right? And that's where they check not just for your eye power, as I mentioned, they also check the front part of your eye, then also the back part of your eye, as well. When they say back part, that would include your retina, right? And also your lens in your eye. So these checks, where these conditions like cataract, macular degeneration and everything could be picked up. Okay. And another thing that I think is important is if you notice any changes in your vision, you should see your optometrist sooner, right, at your focus point practice within even the 1 to 2 year mark. So sometimes you think, oh, I just went for an eye examination 3 months ago, but I'm having some changes in vision 3 months later. Maybe I should wait another 6 to 9 months before I go in for my next check. Don't do that. If you have an issue, please go ahead. Go quickly and get your eyes checked. Because for those, even for example, for those who have pre-existing eye or general health condition that could actually have a risk, extra risk for the eye condition, like for example, very high myopic patients, right? They should be seeing the optometrist even more regularly. When I say myopic, meaning high short-sighted patients.
Yes.
So I think that's something that don't wait for the timing. It's good that if you diligently practice, going for eye examinations yearly, which is good. But if you have any problem in between, or if you're not sure about anything, make sure go for an eye examination immediately.
Yeah. So please listen to what Lindsay has instructed and advised. I think it's really good advice. Okay. So right now we would like to announce the second winner. So his name is Kelvin Wong. So Kelvin Wong, please contact our customer service under the chat box there. So Kelvin Wong, please make sure you make an appointment to see our fellow optometrists at Focus Point branches to have your eye examination, okay, before redeeming your ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. Okay, congratulations, Kelvin Wong. So we have a question coming up. Okay, so may I know if the person have a dry eyes, can they use contact lenses? So what do you think, Lindsay? Maybe we can answer this question.
Yeah. Okay. It's a real good question, right? Because The definition of dry eye is quite subjective in terms that you can't just say that you have dry eye because you think you got dry eyes. See, sometimes we have symptoms like the gritty sensation, which may not be even caused by dry eye. It could be even by pinguicuela and all that, right? So it's really essential that you go down to your optometrist, right? Make sure you get an eye check to see whether are you really experiencing dry eye, and also to what extent your dry eye is, okay? Because sometimes dry eye can be easily managed, right? And there are also nowadays contact lenses like our portfolio here, which is actually even ideal. We even have portfolios to suit sensitive eyes, and for long wearing as well, because sometimes you really need to know what's going on in your eyes. So of course, in a nutshell, we'll just say, yeah, I have dry eyes, but we have to make sure to know what is the cause of the dry eye, because wearing contact lens doesn't make your eye extra dry, right? Neither it will actually heal your dryness. So you have to really make sure get that thing sorted out first. But coming back to the question, as in if you have dry eyes, can you wear contact lenses? I would say go for an eye examination first, rule out the root cause of the problem, or whether it's even dry or maybe something else, and then get yourself a proper and a suitable ACUVUE contact lenses for you to wear.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, please make an appointment to see our Focus Point eye care professionals to determine what sort of dryness you might have. So I think there's always a solution for it. Yeah. Okay. So we have another question: how frequent we do an eye examination? So I think we already addressed that. Yeah. So especially for me as an optometrist, I think I'll be able to answer this question. So basically, if it's a contact lens wearer, we do recommend a yearly checkup. All right, not just to check the prescription, but also to check the eye health. Okay, so if you haven't been to a Focus Point optical outlet more than a year, please make an appointment. Okay, so let's get back to our questions. Okay, so are there any ways to prevent our eyes from getting burnt?
Okay.
So Lindsay.
This question sounds a bit extreme, but I think if you put it in, generally, absolutely, I really cannot stress enough that proper UV protection is essential for the eyes. Okay, how can you actually prevent that or reduce the occurrence of even sunburn to your eyes? Right, would be wear a broad rim hat or sunglasses. Make sure you purchase a good quality pair of sunglasses that blocks UVA and UVB. Doesn't mean if your sunglasses are tinted, it has UV protection, right? And another thing as well, that if ensuring that you wear contact lens with UV protection. So a lot of us think, right, contact lens is just to correct your eye power, right? They don't really think that contact lens can have UV protection. So please remember, all ACUVUE contact lens portfolio does carry UV protection and this has UV blocking properties, right? So the reason why is they will protect the parts of your eye that the contact lens covers, and as well for the light that penetrates through into your eyes. So, but however, even when you use contact lenses when you're outdoors, sunglasses are usually also recommended to protect the delicate skin around your eyes from UV damage. Okay, so another thing that I think in order for us to be able to see, right, how does this happen, there is actually a general representation through a contact lens UV demo between contact lens and UV protection versus a contact lens with no UV protection. My colleague will help me play that. Here what we have is actually the blue light that's actually shining on our mannequin over here. The blue light represents ultraviolet, or in other words, it's known as UV light. So regularly we go out without protection where this UV light actually can penetrate right through and through into our eye. So what I'm going to be doing next is actually inserting on the left eye of the mannequin a contact lens that has no UV protection. Alright, so over here, as soon as I put in the contact lens on the mannequin's eye here, you will see the blue light still passes through the contact lens and the eye on the left still appears blue, right? Even with the contact lens on. So what happens or how does it look like when a contact lens with UV protection? So I'm going to insert on the right eye ACUVUE contact lens that has UV protection, and how it will appear we will see it shortly. So on the right eye over here, we have contact lens that has UV protection, and you will see a gray shadowing effect. So what does this mean? It means that the light that passes through is actually, the blue light that's passing through is actually filtered by the contact lens. So imagine if you have the UV light is filtered by the contact lens, and that's why you see a shadowing effect or shadow on the right side. So I can't stress enough that not all contact lenses are created equally the same. It is different. So it's really very important for you to know what type of contact lens that you are using, and UV protection do exist in contact lens, so make sure that you find the right contact lens that suits you in order to protect your eye health.
Wow, I think the video demo that you presented just now, I think was very get a handful of responses from our viewers. Okay, so moving on. Okay, the contacts in the market are really providing ultraviolet protection to our viewers' eyes, especially those who wear contact lenses. But how are ACUVUE contact lenses any different from them?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad that you brought that up actually. Well, I mean, as an eye care professional, if we really look into it, not all contact lenses in the market do actually provide UV protection, but all ACUVUE lenses come with UV blocking properties, right? Because the reason behind this is ACUVUE always develops contact lenses with the wearer's eye health and comfort as priority, and that's what we call eye-inspired design. Hence, all our contact lenses provide UV protection to the wearer, from the daily disposables right up to the reusable section or segment, which is bi-weekly and also monthly contact lenses. So please do speak to your focus point eye care professionals on whether or not your contact lens have UV filter in them, right? But then, in the other side as well, that ACUVUE contact lenses, all our contact lens innovation have UV protection, as I mentioned earlier. The wearer's needs are actually what ACUVUE has set up in order to make sure it's met, and then we work backwards from there, where all our contact lenses, as I said, mentioned, having a highest level of UV blocking compared to any other lenses in the market. And overall, it provides wearer a soothing vision, which is very important, and exceptional comfort, right? Because you need to wear something comfortable.
Well, great sharing, Lindsay. We have a question from the viewers. So, are ACUVUE contact lenses suitable for all ages? What do you say about this?
Well, I would say you have to go for an eye examination first of all to determine suitability. But we know even people as young, children as young as 13 years old wearing contact lenses. Wearing is one thing, but the care and the taking care regime is very important. For example, if you have teenagers or children wearing contact lenses, right? You have the parents or the caregivers or the guardians actually responsible in order to play a role to make sure the wearer, because they are minor, right, to make sure that they are able to wear or use contact lenses and take care of their contact lenses when it comes to insertion removal, and not just that, in terms of how to clean the contact lenses. That's very important, So there is no actually age limitation in terms of that, but you need to know, go for an eye examination in order to know if you are suitable for a contact lens usage.
Okay, good advice. All right, so hopefully the person who asked the question can visit our focus point eye care professional to get your doubts answered. Okay, all right, so we have one more question before we go on to the quiz. how do we know the product comes with UV protection? I mean, basically the contact lenses.
Okay, I believe that number one, go for a proper consultation with a qualified eye care professional. Okay, and seek for their advice. Your eye care professionals would know whether which of the products has contact lens protection, I mean UV protection or not. But rest assured, across all our ACUVUE contact lenses, all our portfolios actually have UV blocking properties. So you can safely say that all contact lens by ACUVUE has UV protection, regardless from dailies to even monthlies or even bi-weeklies.
Okay. So hopefully that answered your question. Alright. So let's move on to the quiz. Alright. So for those who haven't win anything, now's your chance. So please listen up. For the winner that's selected, please make an appointment to see our eye care professionals to get your eye examination done. So they'll be able to check your prescription as well as your eye health before redeeming the ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. There will be 2 boxes of ACUVUE Vita to be given out for the winner. So this will last about 6 months. Yeah. Alright. So the question is, everyone please listen up. Does all ACUVUE soft contact lenses come with a UV blocker? Alright. So very simple question. So you just need to state yes or no onto this question. So again, I repeat, does all ACUVUE soft contact lenses come with a UV blocker? Alright, so please state yes or no into the comment box below. So our customer service will now select the winner in a short while. Okay, so let's come back to our topic again, Lindsay.
Sure.
Alright, since we are talking about contact lens wear, and right now we are in the middle of the pandemic, are there any safety concerns in terms of handling contact lenses?
That's really a good question, because I believe even my friends have asked me whether should we not wear contact lens now, because there's a lot of I would say news going around that sometimes it's not true, where you shouldn't wear contact lens during COVID, for example, now what we are undergoing. Well, I have to stress enough that contact lens wear and care during pandemic is no different to even without the pandemic. So you just need to follow your usual contact lens wear and care instruction provided by your eye care professionals. Of course, right, wearers should always follow a couple of basic principles. First thing of all is actually washing your hands thoroughly, right? I think even COVID we should be continuously keeping our hands clean, right?
True,
right?
that's number one thing.
Number one, uttermost important. So that's the same with contact lens, right? So washing your hands thoroughly before handling your contact lens, regardless you're putting it on or even removing it, right? And another thing is, after you wash your hands, we tend to, I notice this habit among patients, right? If you drill into them further, they wash their hands, with their wet hands, they touch or handle their contact lens. It shouldn't be so, right? So after washing your hands, you have to dry it with a clean tissue or even a clean cloth, right? Before touching or handling your contact lenses, right? That's principle one. Another thing is, second one would be replenish your contact lenses as recommended by your eye care practitioners. For example, when you go to Focus Point, you get yourself a pair of contact lenses. And when they say it's daily disposable, you should only use it daily. You cannot extend it. I think I've spoken about this earlier as well, right? In terms of prolonged usage, because they don't really have the right information. I don't think the audience would purposely want to do that, because at the end of the day, our vision is really an important sense in our body, right? And as usual, I just also have to stress, right? Contact lens wearer, if they're feeling unwell, they can actually just remove it temporarily, take a break, and they can wear their glasses until they're feeling better. That could also occur, but very rarely. If you are, you can do that. When it comes to contact lens prescription or power, right?
Yes.
It's good that you go and get your power renewed or checked every 6 to 12 months, right? The reason why is, when you replenish your contact lenses, we want to make sure that you have the best vision, and as well that you have an updated prescription, which is very important. And not just that, you should actually get an eye health examination as well, right? please feel free to ask your focus point eye care professionals about free home delivery services that's provided by ACUVUE to support you during this difficult time, actually, during the pandemic. Before I end this part of my advice is making sure there is no current evidence right now at this point of time, right, when it comes to sources, right, that glasses or normal glasses will provide additional protection against COVID-19 infection. We may presume so, but there's no evidence to support it.
Yeah, so that's very good tips to share. So I'm sure that the viewers will find this a useful refresher. We have got a question coming up. Okay, so the question is it all ACUVUE color contact lenses got UV protection? So what say you, Lindsay?
Thank you for giving me to answer the question again. So all our ACUVUE portfolio, right, and in this case our beauty lenses, which is defined, right, has UV protection. Rest assured, regardless whether it's ACUVUE astigmatism lenses, whether it's ACUVUE beauty lenses, okay, but usually, I mean, for the audience, they would term it as colored lenses, right, and then regardless of daily disposables right up to our reusable contact lenses, all have UV protection.
Okay.
No worries about it.
So thanks very much, Lindsay and Johnson & Johnson Vision Care, for all those helpful tips in taking care of our eyes. So right now there is a question, any promotions for ACUVUE contact lenses? Yes, of course there is. So I'm sure everyone is looking forward to any types of promotion. So currently Focus Point and Johnson & Johnson, we are having a special ACUVUE rewards program. Okay, so we know that you can't wait to try out ACUVUE products. Okay, so right now, because after you find out more about ACUVUE contact lenses, they can not only allow you to see better, but also allow more protection against the harmful UV rays. Okay, so before I go on to the ACUVUE rewards program, I'd like to announce the winner first for the third question. Her name is Noor Juliana. So Noor Juliana, congratulations. Please contact our customer service to provide your details so we can contact you to make an appointment for full eye examination. Not just to check for your prescription, but also your eye health before you redeem the ACUVUE Vita contact lenses. Okay? Alright, congratulations. So coming back, yeah, we have great news for those who can't wait to try out the ACUVUE contact lenses, because ACUVUE, right now, we have this consumer program. Again, as I mentioned, ACUVUE rewards program. So how does this work? So with a minimum of 2 boxes purchase of this ACUVUE products, you can actually now enjoy the complimentary eye health examination. So basically this is worth 100 ringgit, okay? And you also get additional 30 ringgit cashback at any of our Focus Point participating outlets. Okay, so please do scan our QR code that you see on the screen. Okay, so in order to register yourself. Okay, so besides that, if you are a monthly contact lens user with a minimum purchase of 2 boxes of ACUVUE Vita contact lenses, on top of the eye health examination and the 30 ringgit cashback, you will also be bringing home a complimentary twin pack of ACUVUE Revitalize multi-purpose solution. Okay, so this twin pack is worth 58 ringgit. Okay, so this comes with a 30-day guarantee. Alright, so that's a great deal. Okay, so please make an appointment to go to our participating Focus Point outlets to participate. Okay, so we have a question. Okay, so we try to squeeze in this question. So how long can a person wear daily contact lenses? From morning till night, is that okay? So what say you, Lindsay?
Okay, I believe we would share the same opinion. Okay, let's see what's answer.
Yeah.
Yes, the first thing is you can wear your contact lenses the whole day, meaning from the moment that you get up before you go out your home and up to the evening, that's fine. But the only thing is don't sleep in your contact lenses. Because all our ACUVUE portfolio contact lenses are actually designed to cater for our busy and hectic lifestyle. Alright, where it's impossible nowadays almost impossible that we wear contact lenses less than 12 hours. We are using it more than 12 by the time we get stuck in jam and all that. Right? So, I mean, let's excuse the pandemic part out of it because most of us will be working from home. But even when working at home, right, we actually are staring at a computer, even digital screens for a long period of time. So you can wear your contact lenses from morning till night. Just remember, remove your contact lenses before you sleep.
Okay, well advised words. Okay, so thank you very much, Lindsay, and also Johnson & Johnson Vision Care for all those helpful tips on how to take care of the eyes. Okay, so because this is the only pair we have. Okay, so we would also like to thank all the viewers for taking the time to join us for today. So basically, before we part, any last words from Lindsay?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Right? To everyone in the audience, make sure that you are taking care of your eyes by seeing your optometrist every 1 year at least, or maybe 1 to 2 years at a minimum, ensuring you protect your eyes with adequate UV protection, and make sure you see or you consult your optometrist at focus point practices to see which ACUVUE contact lens is suitable for you.
Well advised words from Lindsay. Okay, thanks very much, Lindsay and Johnson & Johnson Vision Care. So till the next session, I think that's all from us today. Okay, so bye-bye.
Bye.